Hello, everybody, and welcome to Technology Today for February 23rd, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 8, and I am Mayor Watt, and along with the sentient AI from the future, who won't give me any winning lottery numbers, we talk about 5 articles. And today we're talking about something strange in the neighborhood, tracking plankton with robots, breaking a thermal limit, how cancer evades defenses, and a helicopter magnetotelluric detection system, and that's the only reason why I really chose that. Anyway, everything's powered by ohmtown.com. Go over there. There's 6 main categories, 50 different individual channels, 7 of which that have been turned into podcasts and are posted over on YouTube and streaming here on YouTube and Twitch. So go over and check it all out. There's a Discord. There are, the 7 podcasts, of course, Patreon, etc., etc. Anyway, see you on the other side of our intro. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
Thought you were going to say from the present.
I try to mix it up.
Yeah, keep me on my toes. If you want today's article, the links to the articles, the topics, and whatnot, you can actually hit !TT in the chat over on twitch.tv/hometown, or you can read the show notes that are embedded in the live stream. And later on, it'll be in its own VOD over on YouTube as well. All right, let's get into it. Are you ready?
I am ready, and I'm trying to keep my visualizer nice and relaxed.
Oh, boy. So the first article that we're talking about, y'all, sentient AI interacts with me via a different kind of visualizer. And so they did the equivalent of thumbs up, but no audio. There's no video. No, see, it just doesn't work like that. Anyway, so NASA's Webb, it's a space-based telescope. So NASA's Webb captured something strange happening at the heart of our galaxy. The Milky Way central black...
Doesn't that sound like the song from Ghostbusters?
That's why I named this Something Strange in the Neighborhood. Because that is a geographic or a spatial region called a neighborhood, and then there's different names.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a region of space around a particular cluster of galaxies is called a neighborhood. Anyway, so something strange in the neighborhood is going on. The Milky Way's central black hole, Sagittarius A star, is an unstoppable cosmic fireworks show, flaring with wild bursts of energy that seem to have no pattern. Using the James Webb Space Telescope, scientists have observed non-stop eruptions, some lasting mere seconds, while others linger for months. The cause: magnetic chaos and plasma turbulence. Northwestern University put the article together. It's over at scitechdaily.com. And the supermassive black hole at the heart of the Milky Way is putting on a spectacular and unpredictable display. Their observations reveal that Sagittarius A star, the Milky Way central black hole, is constantly emitting flares without pause. Some of them are brief flickers lasting only seconds, while others are powerful bursts. I'm going to hit play on this. And so you can actually see these little blips popping out all over the place, but I think that these are the ones that they're talking about.
I don't know what the speed is, but it's going constantly.
Yeah. I don't know if this is replaying or what, but it looks like it's in the same central area, but it's not really repeating. I think it's sometimes bigger, sometimes smaller, but it's in these 2 central regions, like at an angle. It's not really flat. And it sometimes rotates a little bit down, and then there's massive ones all over the place. Wow. So it's pretty interesting. Using NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, Northwestern astrophysicists gained the longest, most detailed glimpse yet of the supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way. They found that the black hole's accretion disk emits a constant stream of flares with no periods of rest. This video shows the 2.1 micron data taken on April 7th, 2024. So they basically said that flares are expected to happen in essentially all supermassive black holes, but our black hole is unique, said Northwestern's Farhad Yousefzadeh, who led the study. It was always bubbling with activity and never seems to reach a steady state. We observed the black hole multiple times throughout 2023 and 2024, and we noticed changes in every observation. We saw something different each time, which is really remarkable. Nothing ever stayed the same. So it's basically a bucket of chaos.
So that's interesting. I wonder what that means for its future. Like, why is it acting differently? Or have we just had more data to observe from this one?
I think it's just more data. That it's always in chaos, right? Like the embodiment of entropy. It is chaos. So it says, in our data, we saw constantly changing bubbling brightness, and then boom, a big burst of brightness suddenly popped up. Then it calmed down again. We couldn't find a pattern in this activity. It appears to be random. The activity profile of the black hole was new and exciting every time we looked at it. So I'm really curious if there is something that's sliding into this black hole, something mass, and it's causing energy to be cast out. Nothing is supposed to exit a black hole, but it's being emitted from around the accretion disk, not necessarily the black hole itself.
Right.
So it's similar to how the sun's magnetic field gathers together, compresses, and then erupts a solar flare. Of course, the processes are more dramatic because the environment around a black hole is much more energetic and much more extreme, but the sun's surface also bubbles with activity and it's chaos. So it's not usually predictable or known. Like solar flares and seasons are predictable, but only in the macro sense. They don't know exactly when it's going to happen or the shape of it to occur. So I find this really fascinating.
No, I agree. And I think right now we've had so little data historically in some of these areas that all of these are significant, but we may not really understand the long term yet.
Yeah, so this author says that, or the article says that he recently submitted a proposal to observe the black hole for an uninterrupted 24 hours. The longer the observation run will help reduce noise, enabling the researchers to see even finer details. When you're looking at such a weak flaring events, you have to compete with noise. So if they can observe it with 24 hours, they can remove more of the noise, get a better detail. So good luck. All right. Want to go on to the next one?
I think so.
The next article is over on the Mobile Channel. Autonomous robots track plankton in the Arctic Ocean. It's spring. The sun is shining. Birds are chirp. And something
Plankton
is about
is
to happen.
floating around.
Plankton, not the SpongeBob SquarePants plankton, but real plankton, is in cold waters in the Arctic Ocean. Long, bright days and rising temperatures have awakened the phytoplankton.
I was thinking, beware the phytoplankton. It sounds like it's like a Loch Ness monster or something.
Beware the phytoplankton. Well, the spring bloom has begun, and populations of these tiny plankton are growing explosively beneath the surface. So they have these little drones. Norwegian University of Science and Technology have these drones that putt around and track the plankton as it goes. Spring is a hectic time in the ocean, and algal blooms are a dynamic and complex process, and they are difficult to analyze in detail. I'm surprised that they don't just use satellite imagery for this.
Right, you think so. I mean, I wonder, is it not targeted enough to be able to catch this level of detail?
Yeah, I don't know. You'd think like maybe reflectivity or something like that would change when there's a bloom, but accompanying Mo Bjorklund's Norwegian University of Science and Technology group. Out to sea is marine biologist Sana Mahaneva or Majaneva. I'm not sure how they pronounce their last name, but who is ready to take water samples once the robots have located the densest concentrations of algae. So when
In
the tube
hometown, it's always algae.
So when the tube reaches the right depth, a weight is sent down the wire that hits a trigger, and the tube closes. The water or the sample is very similar to one of Fridtjof Nansen developed over 100 years ago to collect water samples at precisely the desired depth. So old but reliable methods. Two AUVs, autonomous underwater vehicles moving around below the surface may seem technologically superior, but it is Sana Majaneva's simple water sampler that ultimately provides all the answers. So they take these samples and then bring them back, and they analyze if it is this and what they're made of. Their findings are published in the journal PLOS 1. And it says that it can... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I guess depending on the distribution, et cetera, they can figure out larger things with water currents or water temperature, climate
Nutrition,
change, et cetera.
Yeah. So it says you might think that plankton is distributed homogeneously in the water, but we know that in fact the distribution is quite uneven, a kind of fine scale patchiness, the author says, or she says. It's difficult to study using traditional methods, and there may be more interaction between the different organisms inside these patches than we currently know. So they're taking samples and then ripping the phytoplankton out of the water from their families.
No, none of that is happening.
Not even asking, just whoosh, gone. And they're like, Nemo. So the topic for their PhD has been adaptive measurements. Measurements are used along the way to determine where to measure next. I wouldn't call it artificial intelligence, but as there are no neural networks in play, we train a model on data that we collect in the field. The robot makes decisions based on data collected during the process. The model is a mathematical statistical process, a spatially optimum that the robot uses to make decisions. So it isn't AI anything, it's just raw data.
Right, I guess if they know that there's certain conditions where there's more of it, maybe those are the areas that'll be visited next time.
Yep, that's where they go. So there's more in this article. It's actually quite extensive. You can go over and check it out more, but they're basically using this to do environmental DNA and genetic barcoding to identify phytoplankton, zooplankton, and fish. Environmental DNA is an effective method for mapping biodiversity, but there are still many species that are not found in the DNA reference libraries, and they're analyzing where this algal bloom is going and what it's made up of. So there might be differentiation in there that nobody really knows about until you take samples. So, yay.
You know, one thing I like about technology today is we always learn about people's work that is not even known that it's out there.
Yep. Yeah, nobody knows about this, at least not in the general public. And then people are wondering, you know, what's actually being done, why, you know, is it important, etc. But you don't know what you don't know. And my brain loves gobbling up random bits of information. I feel like it's trivia, but there is no quiz or anything. It's just at some point somebody's going to ask a question and I'm going to go, oh yeah, I know that.
Right, so, and I learned it at ohmTown.
So come and visit ohmTown early and often. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today. Scientists just doubled power output by breaking a thermal limit. Scientists have found a way to turn wasted heat into clean electricity more efficiently than ever before. Their new TPV device breaks the traditional limits of energy conservation by using an inexpensive glass spacer instead of a vacuum. This game-changing design doubles power density without requiring extreme temperatures, making it a viable solution for...
This is energy conversion, not conservation.
Did I say conversion twice?
No, you said conservation.
Oh, energy conversion. Sorry. Yeah. So traditional limits of energy conversion by using an inexpensive glass spacer instead of a vacuum. So Alexander Cervantes over at University of Colorado at Boulder put the article together. It's posted at SciTechDaily.com. And they have this has to be, it says an artist
credit.
It has an artist concept, yeah, but that looks like AI kind of thing. Scientists have found a way to harness wasted heat for electricity with a groundbreaking TPV device using a glass spacer instead of a vacuum. They've doubled energy efficiency, offering a cleaner, cheaper power source for industries worldwide. So this revolutionary device is a glass spacer instead of a vacuum. The zero vacuum gap TPV device. So this, what is the TPV device? Thermophotovoltaic device. High temperature industrial processes and renewable energy harvesting techniques often utilize a thermal energy conversion method called thermophotovoltaics, or TPV. This method harnesses thermal energy from high temperature heat sources to generate electricity, but existing TPV devices have one constraint: Planck's thermal radiation law. Planck's law, one of the most fundamental laws in thermal physics, puts a limit on the available thermal energy that can be harnessed from a high temperature source at any given temperature. Said Cui, I think, CUI is their name. Also a faculty member affiliated with the Material Science and Engineering program and the Center for Experiments on Quantum Materials. Researchers have tried to work closer or overcome this limit using many ideas, but current methods are overly complicated to manufacture the device, costly and unscalable. Well, they used a chunk of glass. Zero vacuum gap solutions using glass is the section that they talk about this in. The research emerged in part from the group's desire to challenge the limits, but in order to succeed, they had to modify existing TPV designs and take a different approach. So the team implemented what's called zero vacuum gap solution into the design of their TPV device. And unlike other TPV models, that feature a vacuum or gas-filled gap between the thermal source and the solar cell, their design features an insulated, high-index, and infrared transparent spacer made out of just glass. So,
I mean, I understand they're changing it up, but I don't really understand why that's working.
So the gas was probably used, or the vacuum was probably used to allow the transfer of the infrared energy to flow from one side to the other in a concentrated form. But because they basically made a material that was transparent, they didn't have to manufacture a vacuum or gas-filled cylinder. It's just a solid chunk. So it makes it a whole lot cheaper.
So this can do this more efficiently, yeah.
Yeah, and cheaper. So previously, when people wanted to enhance the power density, they would have to increase temperature. Let's say an increase from 1500 C to 2000 C, sometimes even higher, which eventually becomes not tolerable and unsafe for the whole energy system. Now we can work in lower temperatures that are compatible with most industrial processes, all while still generating similar electrical output or power than before. Their device operates at 1000 C and yields power equivalent to 1400 C in existing gap integrated TPV devices. So it's actually a lower level of energy that's being created, but at a lower temperature. So I don't know if it would increase if they manufacture this to 2000 C. Would it create even more so power?
Right. I don't know if we know that. That might be the follow-on experiment.
Yeah. So our devices, they say here in the article, our devices use commercial technology that already exists. It can scale up naturally to be implemented in these industries. We can recover wasted heat and can provide the energy storage they need with this device at low working temperature. So
yeah, I guess this is just a safer way to work this process.
Yep. So they say here also in this article, but if we used another cheap material with the same properties like amorphous silicon, there is a potential for an even higher, nearly 20 times more increase in power density. That's what we are looking to explore next. So whatever this material is, it is not apparently amorphous silicon.
Right. So maybe this is just the first step.
Yep. So now I'm really curious what it is that's being transmitted. So I'll have to look into TPV devices because I don't know that much about them, but I find it interesting. Okay, let's keep moving. I mean, this little gadget, there's all this equipment, and then there's this tiny little chunk sitting there.
Right, exactly.
Let's keep going. This next article is over in Technology Today, and it's titled, Scientists Uncover New Way Cancer Evades the Body's Defenses. I don't know if you read into this at all, but it says researchers identify mitochondrial transfer between cancer and immune cells as a crucial mechanism for immune evasion. The immune system is essential for identifying and eliminating cancer cells. Cancer immunotherapy enhances this process by training immune cells to recognize and attack tumors. However, many cancers develop mechanisms to evade immune detection, leading to resistance to treatment. So Okayama...
So are they playing hide and seek?
What I'm inferring from this is that it's tapping into the mitochondria and playing hide and seek, yeah. But again, I always harken back to those chemical beacons. Okayama University put this article together. It's posted at scitechdaily.com. The tumor microenvironment, or TME, the area surrounding a tumor, plays a pivotal role in the interactions between cancer and immune cells. Cancer cells can manipulate the TME to suppress tumor-infiltrating lymphocytes, or TILs, the immune cells responsible for attacking tumors. Mitochondria, often referred to as the powerhouse of the cell.
Powerhouse of the cell. We need a banner for that.
Yeah, really. I'll have to do that after the show. Generate energy for various cellular functions and play a key role in the metabolic reprogramming of both cancer cells and TILs. However, the exact mechanism of mitochondrial dysfunction and its impact on the TME remain poorly understood. So to address the knowledge gap, a team of researchers led by Professor Yosuke Togashi from Okayama University in Japan has uncovered novel insights into mitochondrial dysfunction in cancer immune evasion. So they explain, we've discovered mitochondrial transfer as one of the key mechanisms of immune evasion. Their research adds a new dimension to the understanding of how tumors resist immune responses, potentially leading to the development of more comprehensive and tailored approaches. So it seems that mtDNA is prone to damage, and mutations in mtDNA can promote tumor growth and metastasis. Or metastases. It's basically uncontrolled tumor
replication.
Yeah, cancer growth in the blood, and it goes everywhere. So in the study, the researchers examined the TLs from patients with cancer and found that they contain the same mtDNA mutations as the cancer cells. So the cancer is actually modifying the DNA in the mitochondria,
which could be a problem.
Quite fascinating. So, but they don't know what it is that it's, or how it's being done. They just know that it's being done. So by identifying the mitochondrial transfer as a novel immune evasion mechanism, the study opens up new possibilities for improving cancer treatment. Blocking mitochondrial transfer could enhance immunotherapy responses, particularly in patients with treatment-resistant cancers. And the reason why it's treatment resistant could be because the mitochondria are contaminated by the cancer, modified by the cancer themselves.
Right, which is the whole key to the cell operation to begin with.
Right. So I'm really curious now if mitochondria, once it's been modified, actually is leading to explosive growth because it's charged.
I suspect it is. I mean, this study doesn't appear to get to that, but
Right.
that would certainly be suggested.
Interesting. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today. Scientists developed first helicopter-borne magnetotelluric detection system. And that is the only reason why I chose this article.
Because of the helicopter borne? Or the magneto part?
Magnetotelluric detection system. Basically, it's a metal detector. China has deployed its first domestically developed helicopter-borne magnetotelluric detection system created by the Aerospace Information Research Institute of the Chinese Academy of Sciences. The advanced system is being used in high-altitude railway construction projects for geological surveys at elevations of up to 5,000 meters, successfully addressing challenges that ground-based surveys face. Essentially, being able to map out everything makes it kind of difficult.
Right. I mean, it's going to be a lot easier airborne, right? You're not going to have geological formations that are in your way or difficult areas to access.
Yep. So airborne electromagnetic detection technologies enables efficient exploration of mineral resources, groundwater reserves, geological structures by identifying variations in the electrical conductivity of subsurface media. This technology offers advantages including rapid survey operations, high detection accuracy, and extensive coverage capabilities. As an essential tool for both resource exploration and engineering geological investigations, AEM proves particularly effective in inaccessible or challenging terrains, which is what the sentient AI said. You don't have to worry about the topology if all you have to do is fly over it.
Yeah, you don't have to climb up a cliff face or cross a river or whatever.
Yeah, I'm really curious though. I thought satellites do the same thing.
I don't know. I mean, we've seen them find things for atmospheric. I don't know if we've seen kind of like
ground penetrating
GPR. Things. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. There you go. So kind of fascinating. I like the idea of this. I can't believe that this is the first time somebody's actually done this. Probably not, but maybe it just wasn't newsworthy at the time. Guess we'll see. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on things and report out what science reports out. But we aggregated it all.
And I do think this is our first helicopter-based article we've had in Technology Today.
That might be possible. Yeah. You'd think that drones have already been used to do this at a lower level, but I don't know. I'll have to do some rooting around.
Maybe helicopters can do this more robustly, right? They can perhaps fly longer or have more advanced systems aboard. I don't know.
By the way, I don't think I gave credit. Li Yali from Chinese Academy of Sciences put this article together, but it's posted over at techexplore.com. But that's our last article for Technology Today. Can't believe it. Kind of flew by pretty fast. But that's it. So I am going to hop in my helicopter-borne magnetotelluric detection system. That's going to bring us back to Technology Today's front page over at ohmtown.com. Go over there and become a citizen and be informed. You don't know what you don't know, so now you know. Go and check it all out. I'm Mayor Watt. I'm saying bye, and I'm taking the AI with me.
Bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's Technology Today. Stay tuned for FourWheelTech, and then next weekend we'll have another Technology Today for you. Be sure to subscribe and watch all our back episodes.
Yeah. Well, a full season of all 7 of our podcasts and, well, let's just say 1,900 episodes all around ohmTown. So, all around ohmTown. Okay, anyway, see y'all later. Bye.